Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. For those that didn't watch the update video, this is going to be a new feature on the channel where I do predictions, and this is going to be my first attempt at doing it. For any of those that saw my live stream where I attempted to do a tier list for the European region, for the spring split, and the NA region, you'll see that went really, really badly. I had well, it wasn't horrific, but like I overestimated TSM quite hard. I thought they'd actually did their research, unlike me. I couldn't be asked to look into the TSM team. And I underestimated Dignitas. Sorry, I had Dignitas quite heavily bottom, and they didn't finish bottom. So anyway, with my shitty predictions, let's get right into it. I guess I'll do the SK games first because that just feels like it makes sense because they're playing first both days. SK versus Astralis. I can actually see this being like a semi-interesting game on the basis that Astralis are like doing quite well, but they're also unproven because they lost to G2 who were looking good, but then they beat BDS and Misfits who both look quite disorientated. And BDS are just genuinely shit. Um, Although there's more to come on that later when I'm going to predict them to win a game. So I think it's going to be interesting. SK's only win having come against BDS as well. Like they could be on similar levels, but I think Astralis are going to take this. I think Astralis are probably the much better side in like in the current meta, but there's definitely a way in which SK could win because I love Treat, and I think they'd have a chance definitely. SK Misfits, I would predict SK to win this because Misfits looked so bad last week. But if Vetio comes back into his spring split form, like pre-playoffs, Misfits should be another team to fear. I'm going off more recent form for predictions, and I feel like that's the way I tend to do predictions. Although I do have like some biases as well that like come from the past with teams, particularly with teams that I like or respect. Um, these teams are neither. Um, so yeah, I think SK win this based on recency bias, but definitely watch out for Misfits to be a very strong side. I guess next we do the XL games. XL have looked rejuvenated since signing Mickey X, but they're not that insane right now. In comparison, Vitality, like yes, they lost to Mad Lions, and beating BDS is no real achievement. So they've only really beaten Misfits, who again not that impressive. But Haru is carrying on some of his form from playing on X7, X7. I think it's X7, the NLC team he played on, where he was playing with Tempt, where they had insane synergy. He's got some of that synergy again, and that was my main worry of him stepping up into the Vitality team. But I don't know. They might drop him for Bo. I mean, Bo is a mechanically better jungler, but Haru does have that really sick coordination with his team. I think it'll be interesting to see who Vitality play, and I think if Vitality play Haru, they definitely have a greater chance of winning in my mind. Um, and I'm going to say for that reason that XL win because I think Vitality are going to continue their implosion. Um, yeah, that's basically my reason. Mad Lions XL. Now this one's hard because it depends on what Mad Lions you get. The Mad Lions this split and even last split have looked really shaky. Particularly Armut still looks shaky in my mind. I know some people have said he's played a bit better. Not sure I agree. Um, I don't know. They're a bit of a weird team. There's some people that say Niski's like adding some solidness. I think it's also adding a bit of a liability because you know what Niski's going to play. I'm going to predict XL, which means I'm predicting XL to have a 2-0 week, which is really bold by my standards. But yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. I guess we go with the two Rogue games next. Rogue versus Misfits. Well, Rogue have been disappointing this split, haven't they? Losing their first two games, though they have had one of the hardest strengths of schedules possible. I mean, playing Fnatic and G2, the top two teams, arguably, in the league, and then playing Mad Lions, who are realistically a very strong side as well. Um, I think there's still a question mark over them, but I don't see them ever losing to Misfits. I think Misfits are still really uncoordinated at the moment, and so I just think Rogue will win this. Rogue Astralis, that's another hard one. As I said, Astralis look pretty decent in the current meta, and Rogue haven't got much momentum behind them. But they've beaten Mad Lions, and I think Mad Lions are like a mechanically and like almost in every way better than Misfits. Sorry, Astralis. But I can see Astralis winning just purely on recency bias. But I'm gonna have to predict Rogue. 100% I have to predict Rogue. Right, now we're gonna do the BDS games. BDS have the hardest two games. Just my words previously, I said that G2 and Fnatic were the two best teams in this league. I think BDS is gonna win one. Any guesses? Anyone who knows me knows automatically who I think they're gonna beat, and it's not Fnatic. It's G2. So for those that don't know, I have like a serious love-hate relationship with G2. Basically in every game I've ever watched, when I was in my Siege phase at the start, I was in my CS:GO phase, I was my first Rocket League phase. G2 have always been like one of the best teams in the world and definitely in their region. And they've always let me down when I predicted them. And I've always loved their players. Like Rizzo is my favorite Rocket League player. Pengu is one of my favorite Siege players. So is Fabian. Kenny S is my favorite CS:GO player. Caps is one of the best players in League. Mickey X made me fall in love with the support role. I know he doesn't play for them anymore, but he was part of their 2019-2020 rosters, which is all G2 really is. um, but BDS are winning. I don't care. I'm predicting BDS. And if they don't win, if BDS lose, if BDS lose, I will. I can't think of a good dare. If anyone gives me one in the chat that isn't like too shitty, I will do it if BDS lose. So then we'll go BDS Fnatic. Fnatic win. 100%. Fnatic actually have an ability, can play the game, they can press buttons. They don't leave the Baron when it's on 1,000 health for the Vitality to steal for free. Yeah, Fnatic just win it. Mad Fnatic, I think I've pretty much summed it up in my last how I talked about Mad Lions, whether it depends on what Mad you get. Fnatic aren't going to give a shit about what Mad you get, though. Like, Upset Hilly, that's a sick bot lane. And I think Upset Hilly just win the game. Flat out. So that leaves Vitality G2, which is the last game. I'm a G2 hater, apparently, because I think G2 are going to lose this as well. Like, to be fair, if I did predictions for the first week, I'd have G2 1-5 coming out of week 2. I'd have had them only beating Rogue. Um, which says a lot when that's probably the hardest game they've got in for those first 2 weeks. Yeah, those are my predictions. Tell me what you think. If you think I'm a G2 hater, tell me down below. I'm not. I love the players. But particularly BB Caps and Targamas. Nope, I meant Flackid. Anyway, that just shows I don't love him. Anyway, if you love if you love the content, please feel free to leave a like and maybe subscribe. If you don't, tell me you hate me.